Hello, my darlings. This is Amish Patel, CEO of the Amish Patel Comedy Corporation. And look, lots to talk about today. We got to talk about keeping our games tight. That's what we're going to talk about. I think like two episodes ago I talked about work ethic, and then I talked about Jordan Peterson. But this episode, we got to talk about keeping our games tight and 10s who love sixes. Huge market. Not a lot of people talk about it, but we're going to touch on 10s who love sixes because it's a big market. I don't think people know about it, and I think it's an important message for the culture and for the community. So we're going to talk about that. But anyway, before we get into that, I just want to let you guys know that if you go to laughsareUp.com, laughsareUp.com, you can become an investor. You can become involved in the corporation, in the Amish Patel Comedy Corporation, by going over there. Put your email address in. You know what I'm saying? You'll be on a mailing list. You'll be informed when new laughs are going up through the podcast, through the bits. You can find out when there's a live show because really the podcast is the B material. And it's going to be hard to imagine because the laughs are up on the podcast. But it's actually technically it's the B and then the A. It's like conversational and B stuff. But then the A stuff goes on stage. And so, yeah. Wow, I probably shouldn't say that at the beginning of the podcast because then people are going to be like, well, if this is B material, why am I even listening? That's how tight my B is. Okay? But then the live show is like laughing out loud. You're part of the community. It's almost like a different experience. This is like hey, I'm hanging out with you at home. We're having a chat and we're having a fun, lovely, beautiful chat. And the fun, lovely, beautiful chat just has so many laughs in it because I can talk about like the most real shit and just make it so funny. Look, let's start with this, guys. I just came from a stand-up comedy show, and this comic did a whole set about how his ex-girlfriend cheated on him. He did a whole set about that, and then he walked off stage, and I was like, "Hey, man, great set. It was so funny." And I was like, "That was so funny," but I was like, "Dude, you look like your ex-girlfriend cheated on you, though." And he was like, "Oh, you mean because I didn't shave?" And I'm just like, "You mean like in my face? I just kind of looked tired and I didn't shave?" And I was like, "Dude. All of this, you look like a guy whose ex cheated on him. And you look like you need to get back out in the game, brother." That's what I said to him. I said, and here's the thing. I know you guys think, okay, first you thought I was being mean, and then you thought I was being so nice. But you know what his response was? I told him, I was like, dude, you need to get back in the game, brother. And he said, "I know, man. Yeah, I guess I haven't really left my bed in like 6 months." Dude. How sad, you know? How sad, man. People are so lonely, right? In this city? This Toronto, everyone thinks they're so busy and they got so much shit going on. Dude, people in London, Ontario, having way more fun. Montreal, way more fun. We're losers. Toronto, I'm sorry, but like everyone thinks they got so much going on. First of all, we're not New York, okay? So it's not even that big time. But second, it's like everyone's busy. Like, honestly, who are they having sex with even? They're not. Because here's the thing. Tinder even, I'll go to a small town and I'll get matches. In Toronto, nothing. And I'm like, look, what are you What are you going to do? You want to date someone who has a job? What are you doing? Like, honestly. I think I talked about this in another one. I literally go on Tinder every morning. When I wake up. You know, and I'm all about like doing the media diet and don't go into Instagram, don't go into Facebook. I go to Tinder just to remind myself that these girls are out there. They're in the culture. They're out there. Not going to get a match. In Toronto, not going to get a match. But I go on just to be like, man, they are there. And I just got to go, you know, I just got to go say what's up because from the computer, no one's matching. You got to get in the game, baby. You got to get in the game. Maybe you got to go dance. Maybe you got to put out some videos. That's it, baby. It's hard, right? I was just 2 episodes ago I was talking about work ethic, man. And dude, I get so jacked up on these conversations with people, other people who watch motivational shit. We're just like, yeah, you make a move, God'll make a move. That's Joel Osteen. That's one of my favorite Joel Osteen lines. He's a Christian preacher, but he's basically a motivational speaker. So good. You know what I'm saying? I'm just feeling that work ethic of the Lord in me right now with this podcast. I'm feeling like, man, I could just wake up and spit every day. It's pretty entertaining. Just my regular conversation, pretty entertaining. And I keep it going. And maybe I jump around a little bit, but we're going to have a very excellent conversation today. And by conversation, I mean you guys are going to listen to me. And I think we're all going to walk away feeling a little more love in our hearts, feeling a little more like maybe we got to go out and engage with the community a little more, and maybe that'll be good for ourselves and it'll be good for everyone. And that's what the culture needs right now. I think you're gonna become walking away from this with a very positive message, you know? Because like I said, man, this guy looks so sad. And as soon as I said it, it's so funny when someone just admits it too. Like that's the thing with comics, man. So cool. Like half of them are like losers. Like not losers. Like half of them are like just sad drunk people who, you know, they're kind of giving up. They don't really. There's no money, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to depress you guys, but there's very little money, and people are just kind of drinking a lot, and they're not progressing really. Most people aren't. They're just kind of, you know, hanging out. You know, I'm doing what I can, but there's no money. Like it's just that's the game a little bit right now in Toronto. You know, but we're doing what we love, and everyone's cool, right? But the good thing about it, even though they're a bunch of like whatever, even though it's pretty broke ass, the good thing about it though is that the conversations are good. You know what I'm saying? The conversations are tight, dude. And I remember I was telling someone about this where one of the great comics in the game, he talks and he doesn't even let you get a word in. Doesn't even let you get a word in. But here's the thing. His stories he's got great stories. You know? He basically does monologues. You know there's people in real life that do that? They just set up a situation where they can do a monologue. You ever meet someone like that? Dude, there's so many people that I'm like, yo, you're doing a monologue right now. You know, I just want to grab a thing of popcorn. I just want to be like, oh, it's got like some almonds over here, you know? Oh, you're doing a monologue. Cool. No, cool, man. I just want to get. Should have done it with popcorn. I should have done that with popcorn. But there's no popcorn here. So you know what? Here we go, guys. Go to laughserup.com, become an investor. We'll have some popcorn. What are you going to do? Dude, some people just do monologues in real life. Some people are just drama queens, right? So funny, but from a comic, the monologues are tight. Like I gotta say, there's some comics who like they don't let you get a word in, and it's rude. And I'm like, dude, we're in a conversation. Let me say something too. I'm a comic too. Like I want to talk too. You can't get a word in with this guy. But if you just stop and listen, he takes it, man. He takes it to some great places, and he has always a banger ending. And those are just his conversations. But you gotta just listen. Like it's almost like he's been brewing about something all day. And that's what most people who are monologuing do. You know what I'm saying? When someone is monologuing in real life, you know, and I was telling someone, I might have mentioned this already in the podcast, but it's kind of like when you talk to someone and they'll tell you that they got into a fight, let's say the night before, okay? Let's say you have a friend, they're like, okay, they got into a fight like yesterday at 6, okay? Then they go to work today and let's say you see them at after work today, right? They got into a fight after 6 yesterday. You talk to them after work today, and they just come from work, and you say, "What's up? What happened?" And then they drop a monologue on you about this fight they got into yesterday. They just drop a monologue on you, right? Basically, that monologue. Here's the thing about it. You know, they might have come from work, but really they've been working on that monologue. You know what I'm saying? That's all they've been thinking about. They're not thinking about work. They didn't do work. They went to work, and they're just thinking about comebacks. Because they got into a fight, and they're just spending the day looking for comebacks, dude. Right? They're writing a little screenplay in their head. They're writing a screenplay dialogue for their future self. That's what they're doing. Monologue people. Some people do it, man. Some people do it. Some people do monologues. But the best people at monologues are the professionals, actors, comedians. You know, some of the very dramatic people, but they want to drop a monologue, dude. They'll drop a monologue on you, and you're like... Jeez, man, I gotta go. I remember this one girl I was living with her, and she starts dropping a monologue on me about her dad. Didn't pay attention to her. Her dad never had time for her, stuff like that. But she starts this monologue, and like I gotta go. Like I gotta get to this audition. So I'm like just walking out the door, and she starts this monologue, almost like a test of her acting to be like maybe I can keep him from going. Like, she starts a monologue, and I'm like, dude, listen, man, I'm sorry your dad didn't have time for you, and now I gotta go, though. You gotta cut it. Let's go. I gotta go. And I just had to stop, and one of them would be like, okay, cool. Look, okay, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't want this to make it worse, but I'm leaving right now. I'm gonna leave. And I had to walk out like that. How rude, eh? Someone starts dropping a monologue. But it's also rude of her to fucking start the monologue. Get out of here. You got to test out your acting skills on me right now? Some people are like that. They got to do monologue, man. They got to get it off the chest. You know? And going back to the first guy that I was talking about and talking about getting in the game, my darlings. This is what I mean about getting in the game. I talked about this 2 episodes ago where I'm talking about work ethic. And the people who have a good work ethic are the people who understand that the joy is in the work, brother. The Lord put the joy inside the work. That's what these hardworking people understand that the rest of us don't understand. Most of us, you know what I'm saying? Is it most or is a lot of us, like we just want to have to, the people that I know that can't move ahead are people who just want to stop working. Like they don't want to work. Like when you bring up work, they're like, oh, when can we be done that? I don't want to do that. Work? Ugh. But the people that work hard and get it, they have told themselves, maybe a lie, I don't know, but maybe the truth, I don't know. Like it seems like it could be very true. They've told themselves that the joy is in the work. God is so great. God put joy inside of the work. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? But then there are lazy, laid-back comics too, and they have their purpose. And those people have their purpose in this world. The lazy people have their purpose too. You know what I'm saying? They're not completely useless. But today what I want to talk about is just staying in the game, my darlings. Staying in the game, you know? It's not easy. This guy, I had to tell him. I had to say it. At first, I thought I was just being a jerk comic and just roasting the guy. And look, a little bit of me was. But then when he said, like, yeah, I haven't really got out of my bed in a while. The way he said it, oh, my God. Yeah, I guess I do got to get back out there. Oh, what am I going to do? It was like that, dude. You got to go out. And brother, you have to go in the community. God not going to just give you 1 to 2 pussy like that. No, you have to go in community, brother. You have to go outside. We are free people, brother. But like, you know what I do? I always talk about that with a Middle Eastern accent because I feel like that gets me off the hook. But basically, look, I don't do anything wrong. I'm a gentleman. I'm a gentleman, guys. We can't be a gentleman and say, how's the community going to come together? We can't be a gentleman and still go out in the community and go and say hi, and we're not allowed to do that. We're not allowed to holler at them. We're not allowed to holler at them, is what I'm saying. Because here's the thing: my methodology is very much a chatty Cathy methodology, and I know that it sounds rude to say that there's even a methodology, but look, man. It's how I live life. It's a life philosophy. It's called being a chatty Cathy, guys. And here's what being a chatty Cathy means. It means I go out and I talk to everyone. I go out and I say hi, hey, whoa. It's a nice breeze. Hey, that's a nice breeze, dude. Try saying, hey, that's a nice breeze to someone. What are they gonna say? They're gonna get a mace can? Just fuck you. No, dude. They're gonna be like, oh, yeah. It's Chatty Cathy. You got to do it with everyone, though. And you got to be real about it, man. Come on. You can't be a sociopath. I was saying this before, man. I'll talk to seniors. You know how many seniors I talk to? I talked to some seniors for like an hour the other day. This lady, she's telling me how her boyfriend was an American draft dodger. Are you kidding me, dude? That's a conversation. Man, I love talking to people who were around during Vietnam when people were protesting all that shit. Oh my God, is that peeking out? I'm sorry. I shouldn't have yelled it into the mic. Can you imagine? Did you guys watch this Vietnam documentary? It's too much, people. This is what I mean by we got to stay engaged with the game. This is what I mean, guys. I think, I'm starting to think that the culture needs a love movement. And the reason why I think we need a love movement, here's why I think we need a love movement. Because it is starting to feel like we're either going to have to love or we're going to have to fight. You know what I'm saying? Like the tensions are rising on both sides right now. It feels like it feels like the tensions are rising on both sides of like so many things. So many people seem like more polarized. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe it's the internet. I mean, I am seeing a lot of stuff that says the internet is built to kind of polarize us and put us into these little echo chambers. So like there are people who say that Facebook is kind of like that. Like they're setting up their algorithm. Like I think what they're realizing with their algorithms at Facebook is that people who are like hateful they get a bigger following. People who are like, oh, we better watch these Muslims, or like something like that, or like something that's like polarized and insular, it gets more hits because basically the people who do believe in it, and this is big. Everyone's talking about this with the internet culture right now. Everyone's talking about how like the internet is basically, it's ruined like journalism, because journalism was about, before it used to be about, it hit this golden age. I saw this. I listened to a great book about this, where journalism hit this golden age in the 80s or the 90s, or like 70s, 80s, 90s, something like that. Like something like the 70s was huge, like where the Watergate scandal was broken by these, is it Woodward and Bernstein? I forgot their names. But basically like 70s, 80s, it was like real rock and roll bad boy journalism. Like they changed the game back then, right? For that, it used to be like just someone shouting on the street, being like, extra, extra, read all about it. And then it was like a catchy headline would sell the newspaper. And then it became respectable for a minute. And then the internet came and it reduced it back to that extra, extra, but read here, whatever. It went to like a peak. And now the internet is bringing it back down to that like tabloidy shit. You know what I'm saying? To that kind of clickbaity kind of stuff. Because for a minute, the media companies kind of had these ethics in play. Like they believed in something. And look, it was very short-lived, I guess, this golden age of journalism, but it's over. Like it's proper over. Like there's historians who talk about it. I don't know. I saw an article. You know what I'm saying? I really got to hold on to these articles or something. I feel like people on the internet, they reference stuff, but this is a podcast. We'll do that. We'll do that when the investments, we'll do it. We'll figure it out. But basically what I'm saying is that people seem so polarized right now. And Facebook is built to make that even worse. I just read this great article, New York Times article. It was something like when countries are a tinderbox and Facebook is the match. And it's basically a whole thing about how like these genocides are being incited on Facebook. Like basically in other countries, there's no ethical boundaries on Facebook, right? So if some people start posting that we got to get together and kill these other people, there's human rights watch groups in the country sending letters to Facebook, calling Facebook every day saying, hey, there's a bunch of people getting together to go murder someone, and they're getting together because some piece of fake news went viral. Like they put up a thing, like these guys put up a thing saying that these other people of this other religion, I think it was the Rohingyas, and they were saying like, these guys we got to go get them basically because they're going to kill one of our things. So then it incited this whole riot, or it incited like so much violence right now in that part of the world. But anyway, the point is that Facebook, like the point that they were making in the article is that basically Facebook is built to kind of make us fight for each other, because the way Facebook algorithms are set up, it's like that's where the money is. It's kind of like they used to say this in journalism, where they used to say if it bleeds, it leads. Basically, Facebook is taking if it bleeds, it leads, and taking that and using every technical, logical AI resource that they can get their hands on to make that more and more efficient. So they're doing these real-time experiments almost, where they're like, okay, well, let's leave that post up. There's examples of posts that were up, and then the person who posted it deleted it, but then Facebook was like, but it's doing hot, so just leave it for another half hour. Like stuff like that was happening. And then people at Facebook were like, oh, sorry, it must have been a mistake. So it's hard to prove it, really. I mean, that's how they tried to do it in India too. They went to India. Actually, this is good on India. When they tried to take it into India, they initially had this plan where they were like, we'll give you free internet. Like Facebook went to the Indian government and said, I'll give you free internet, but you only get 12 websites. One of them is Facebook. One of them is government of India. One of them was like an astrologer. I don't know how he got that gig, but one of them was like IndianAstrology.com, something like that. And there's basically 12 total websites. Oh my God. I guess some grassroots movement in India just blocked it. That's incredible. That's so good, man. That's so impressive, right? Just like a grassroots movement, man. People that are like, It's hard to get food, but let's go protest Facebook. Oh my God. That's impressive, man. I mean, not to say that everyone's just like struggling to get food, but you know, they're on that side of the world, right? I was talking to someone from Palestine today, and I was talking to someone who just became the guy from Palestine. He was telling me that he lived in a refugee camp, basically. And I was like, dude, you lived in a refugee camp. That's more interesting than anyone in Canada. You know what I'm saying? Not anyone. I guess we do have our issues too. We have our issues too. But I do find it interesting. Like sometimes people will complain about affirmative action. And I'm like, look, first of all, the guys complaining about affirmative action it's always guys that I'm like, you're not in the running, stupid. But who has a heart to tell them? They don't got this hustle, baby. They're not the CEO of a goddamn corporation. But it is interesting, like, just the stories, man. I mean, I don't know what to do with it, but I mean, growing up in a refuge, can you imagine? I grew up so first world, so white. So white. I'm so white, dude. Today I saw a comic too who moved to Canada when he was 14 and he's doing stand-up. And I was like, dude, like the amount of comics that are coming from India and they have like, even like they have accents and they're doing stand-up comedy. And I'm like, what? Dude, my family, only like nobody in my family came from India and then said, oh, I think I'm going to write a novel. Nope. They're coming and they're working, dude. They come and they work. Can you guys hear that? I'm at my parents' house. And my dad, I guess he found this Hindu guru who tells you that you got to do, like, he does a meditation where he's like, oh, and he does it so loud, dude. Like, you can hear it. Listen. It's 12:30. My mom's sleeping. I don't live with my parents, by the way. I live downtown. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I live downtown. But I was just going to say, like, how interesting that people are coming now. And they're just going to be stand-ups. And they have girlfriends and stuff. And I'm like, dude, you just came from another country and you have a girlfriend. Brother, God is great. Huh? When I say that, they're like, brother, God is great. It's like, dude, it's so... You don't, when I was in India, man, people were like, I had one kind of cousin who would get laid, and then her family and village would come to murder him. And his dad, dude, he's done it like 5 times. I don't know how he does it. And they're hot too. Oh my God, how does he do it? Like they could die. The girls could die, and they'll be known forever. I remember when I was in school there, I was in a hostel, right? And they made the girls and boys sit separate because it was like so Victorian, right? It was super Victorian. It was like an English medium school in India. And they had to wear dresses down to their ankles with shorts underneath. It was ridiculous, dude. And the guys were wearing like black polished shoes, dress shirt, dress pants tucked in. It's like, I remember every time I went, I was always like, why don't we just wear Indian clothes though? Like they're gone, right? I would always say that. I don't know, man. I would always say that. And they would always be like, we don't believe in ourselves. Come on, man. Don't say that. Don't say that, my darlings. We're great. These Brits fuck shit up, though. They did fuck shit up. You know, listen, hey, the game is the game. And they took it. And it does seem like it goes in these cycles. I was talking to one of these guys who came from the Middle East. And we were just talking outside, and it's like a weed room. So we got like, it just got into like religion and shit, politics so quick on stage too. Someone did a bit about Vietnam. Incredible, man. Like just political hard bits, man. It was such a good night tonight. Greenleaf Vapor Lounge in Brampton. Oh my God. That's the other thing about this Brampton weed room. So many brown people. So many brown people that were born in India. I'm like, this is not... I was at Vapor Central once, and I was on stage, and this guy was dying because I'm so funny. He's dying, and I was just like, oh, where are you from, man? And he's like, brother, I come from Iraq, man. And I was like, cool. And he's like, brother, already have girlfriend. He's like dying. He was like so happy because I think I did a bit about being from, I don't know, something about India. And then he did a bit, like he was laughing, but it was like a relatable one, I guess, because it's a brown, it's like ethnic stuff. Even Italians get it. Everyone gets it. Everyone gets it. Because if you're from a small town in Canada, you might as well be from India. What's the difference? It's the same thing. I'm telling you. I know that sounds like I didn't explain it enough. It's the same thing, man. Honestly. I was watching a show. Who is this guy, this idiot from fucking... he's just some small town guy. Some hick. So funny, man. Oh, so funny, dude. And he comes off stage and I'm like, buddy, you have all the views of my parents. Like, the same views. I'm listening to this guy on stage, and I'm like, my parents would love this small town, backwater, simple folk town kind of guy. Such a like simple guy, but he's Canada. Same as my parents, dude. Same beliefs, same like thoughts. Oh, the big city, like it's the same. What's the difference? He comes here, he's like, oh, well, that's how they're doing it. Like just everything's like, oh, the big city, eh? Subway, oh. Dude, there's people who come from small towns in Canada and they're like, I can't get on the subway. What? What are you talking about? There's one girl that drives in. I mean, she's not from a small town, but man, she just drives in and parks on the west end of Toronto, and then someone has to drive her to shows if they're in the east end, or she'll take the subway, but she won't drive her car through the city. What? What? How? I don't understand. I remember I knew another girl growing up too who's like, highway? I won't drive on the highway. What? You're an adult now. You have to drive on the highway. I mean, if you're not going to drive on the highway, like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? No highway? You're not going to leave Brampton. Dude, she'll take small roads, small side roads, all the way to, she'll go to Scarborough like that. And I'm like, no, there's a highway. It is interesting. So many people are talking about how the culture is getting soft now. How people are getting soft, and it's like that's what I was gonna say about India, and just how when I was there, I was like, why don't you guys wear Indian clothes though? How come we're not doing yoga? They didn't do yoga. They were learning English like 5 hours a day. Dude, I was in high school in India. We're learning English for like 4 of the hours. And then maths and science and everything else was like, okay, whatever. They had social sciences, but it was just like memorize it. Yeah, it is what it is, man. And the math was like 3 years ahead. When I went to school there for 2 years, I came back and I just kept learning that math for 3 more years. 3 more years. In Canada. I went into first year university and I was still doing the math that I did in grade 10 in India. They're tight, right? I mean, this is what happens, man. These empires, they come up and they come down. And India was like the rich empire at one point, and England was the bottom. And they had all that hustle, baby. Dude, India used to be Canada. It was like this multicultural society, and people infiltrated. It was like this open-minded multicultural society. And then these people from England came before they did the 200 years of proper like colonizing it. For 200 years before that, they were just business people. They were like, "Hey, can I buy some land? Cool. Hey, I'm gonna need some of my own soldiers. Okay, cool." It was just like 200 years of slowly just take over a spot. You know what I mean? Start pay some rebel to murder those guys. Pay some other guy to be like, "Hey, what's that king? Can you come and kill his guys? And I'm going to pay him to kill those guys. And then I'm just going to I'll take it, but I'll make you the guy." You know what I'm saying? It was like 200 years of just business guys, corporate. It was corporation, literally East India Company. It was like a corporation. And like the head of the corporation was the head of the army. Like the head of the corporation, he would have, I think his name was Clive, I forgot his name, but there was one guy, he was like a CEO of the East India Company, but he had an army. And he was like, okay, well, let's go murder this king. He's in my way. Let's get rid of him. And he just knew how to do it. He was like, okay, we have all the weapons. They don't have weapons yet. I'll pay off this guy. I'll tell the neighbor thing to attack here. And then they would just come and take him, dude. So sad. So sad. It's kind of like, I guess it is like American corporations a little bit. You know what I mean? In some countries, it's like, look. And this is what I was talking about to these guys today. This guy who's like a refugee. I was like, look, he's from Palestine. and I talk about this on my other podcast, White Man's Burden. Um, my podcast partner on that, Vandad, he found a story where he was in some restaurant, and there's a guy who came to work there named Arafat, and the dishwasher is this Pakistani dude, right? And so they're introducing this guy Arafat, and the Arafat guy goes, I don't know. He said something like, "Hi, my name's Arafat," and then the Pakistani dishwasher goes, and he's like, the Pakistani dishwasher's like, "Arafat, where are you from?" And the Palestinian guy goes, "Oh, I'm from Palestine." And then the Pakistani dishwasher goes, "Palestine dead, man. Oh, Palestine dead. Total dead. Palestine dead, man." Dude, so rude, man. Such a brown thing to say. So brown, dude, to just say it, and he didn't even mean it like an insult. That's the fucked up thing. I know. No, I'm saying. So rude. I get it. So rude, right? He didn't even mean it as an insult. He said, "Oh, Palestine dead, man." He was saying it like, dude, my mom will call someone fat, straight up. My mom will, 2 times she called people fat in front of us, and me and my sister's like, "Mom, what are you doing?" But like one time we're at a thing, and she just goes, she was just talking. Oh, it was so rude, my mom. She was just, they were describing some girl, and the way they described her was like, oh, she's a skinny, like a single body. That's what they would say. They're single body, and if you're fat, they'd be like, not double body. So the way my mom's describing this other girl, she's like, "Oh, she's a single body, not like and then like imagine there's a girl named Pooja who's maybe a little tick. My mom and sitting right there, like Pooja's sitting right there on the couch beside my mom, and my mom's talking to someone across on the couch. It's like they're talking about someone else. Okay, so let's say Sunita is like the skinny girl, and she's not there. But Pooja's sitting right there, and she's a little goddamn tick, you know what I'm saying? And my mom's talking to his auntie on the other couch, and my mom goes, "Sunita is a very single body, not a double body like this Pooja. Not a double body like a Pooja, single body. Like a Sunita, very single body, not like a double body. Look, double body. No. Dude, and my mom, and we were like, "Mom, you can't say that, right? So rude, right?" But here's the thing. My mom, she was like, look. We're here. We got food. Nothing wrong. Fat means she's a healthy. She's a healthy. Dude, my mom didn't mean it like that. She really didn't. Dude, honestly, it really is one of those situations where it's like, where my mom looked at us like, where we're like, "Mom, you called her fat." And my mom's like, "What's wrong with being fat? What's wrong with that? We're here. There's food. There's enough for everyone. Let her eat. Let her eat. Let her be big. She's beautiful." I didn't mean anything by it. I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean it as an insult. Dude, my mom just held it down. Dude, my mom, very progressive, actually, moment. She shamed us. She was like, "You guys have body image issues." Basically, she didn't say it in those big words because she's like, she's not that, like, she doesn't know all the terminology. But she basically said, like, "Look, you people have body image issues. Okay? Some people are double body, some people single body. That's how God make it. God make it some people double body, some people single body." That was one thing. And then number 2, we came to Canada and we got food now. So let her eat and let her get big. I didn't say she wasn't beautiful. And my mom just shamed us back, dude. Clap back. Sometimes you get a clap back from mom. Sometimes my mom doesn't fuck around, dude. She doesn't fuck around. She'll clap you back, dude. She'll clap back. She'll clap back on it. She'll clap back on it for sure. That was a couple of big tangents I just went on. But basically, here's what I want to keep it today. I want to keep it on keeping our games tight. And the reason why I got into all of that, what I just got into, is it does feel like the culture's so divided. You know what I'm saying? It does feel like the culture's so divided. And everyone's ready to fight. And the Lord put in us a natural mechanism to bring the people together. You know? And I don't know if I already talked about this, but it might be just an ongoing theme of the show. Because a big part of what I want to do on the show is not only bring the laughs up, but make sure the outrage is down. And bringing the culture together and bringing the community together. That's a big part of what I need to do here. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that everyone's working together, playing together, having fun, having a good time out here. Right? We're here for a good time, not a long time. That's it. Trooper. So we got to let the people know that I think it's important. Here's going back to what I want to say. I think it's important that we are engaging with this life. You know what I'm saying? I was talking about the joys in the work. I think what I'm realizing now, though, is we need to engage with life, because if you don't engage with life, I can see it, my darling. He said, he basically did this bit, and he's like, my girlfriend cheated on me, so... It was good jokes, dude. The jokes were so funny. But he said it like because my girlfriend cheated on me, and I was looking at him when he said it. And he said, my girlfriend cheated on me, and I looked at him like, yeah, of course she did. Of course she did. You either look like this and she cheated on you, or she cheated on you and now you look like this. But either way, she cheated on you. I can see it. Look at you. We got to keep our games tight, my darlings. And then how funny that he was like, yeah, man, I got to get out. I haven't been out of my bed, man. It's so comfortable. This guy's jerking off 9 times a day, I promise you. Poor thing. You know? It's hard, man. It's hard to stay engaged with the life, right? People are so heartbroken right now. I know one guy, he had a breakup. It wasn't even a breakup. Here's the crazy thing. He was just in a really heavy friend zone, you know? Which is stupid, because it's like, look, just be cool with them. They will introduce you to other. They'll help you. They don't, dude. If you're friends with a girl, be friends, man. That's good. You got a friend. Now you got a friend. She'll hook you up and help you. She'll help you holler, right? So I knew this guy who, I guess he was in like a heavy friend zone. 2-3 years. This girl, he kept telling us like, oh yeah, me and Pooja, man, me and Pooja, me and Pooja did. I'm always going to use Pooja as my example of girl. But he's like, me and Pooja are going to do this. Me and Pooja are going to do this. Yeah, pretty much dating. Whatever. Pretty much dating. Whatever. Dude, he was saying that for like 2 years. Pretty much like dating. I don't know what's going on. It's pretty much dating. What did you say? It's pretty much dating. Like he would don't do this. And then we'd talk to her and she'd be like, we're not dating. I don't know what he's talking about. Like, we're not dating. Anyway, one day Pooja just ends up in a whirlwind romance, dude. She meets a guy. Within 6 months, they're married. Like, they're engaged. Within 6 months. But, dude, Brown, like, that happens with Brown. That's very common with Brown. Within 6 months, they're going to get married. Because here's the thing with Brown people. Okay, here's the thing. If the cultures are lined up, let's just say it's like Hindu, Muslim, if it's like different religions, then they'll block it for 5 years. They'll block it. They'll be like, no, Dad, don't rush it. I don't know. Well, let's not tell anyone. Like, they'll fuck with it, right? But if it's like same caste, same religion, and if there's some kind of a weird family, not related, but if there's some kind of like family friend kind of a connection, then it's kind of like, you know those Hot Wheels where there's you know the Hot Wheels that you can get where it's a track, and then there's like 2 spinners, and then you put the car in and just pew, and it just pushes the car, right? It just like, and remember they used to have those tracks. They used to have these tracks where every, like the car would go, and then pew, and then it would go around, and on this side there'd be no pew, and then there'd be on the other side, pew, and it would just keep shooting the car. You know what I'm saying? It would just keep shooting the car back in the game, baby. That's what happens, man. If you're 2 brown people and the cultures and like the families are all on board, they're like, go, 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 let's go. Go, 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 let's go. What are we doing? Hey, 2 Indian families, we can have a marriage for 100,000, 6 months. What do we got to do? We'll figure it out. We'll MacGyver a wedding, dude. Brown people, we'll MacGyver a wedding. You can just go to brown people and be like, I need a wedding for 5,000 people, 6 weeks. MacGyver. Dude, they'll figure it out. They'll call people, they'll make the call, they'll figure it out. They'll find the caterer. They'll do it, man. They'll do it. The marriage has to happen. Every marriage has to happen. They'll do it. They'll make it happen. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, this girl, Pooja. So this guy that we know, he's in this like weird heavy friend zone, like heavy like denial friend zone, like just weird. Yeah, it's pretty much dating. I know it's like pretty much dating, right? And then one day she just ends up meeting this other guy, whirlwind romance, engaged in 6 months, and then our buddy, the friend zone guy, he basically just said, you know what, life, I quit, and he just went back to his mom's house. He basically looked at life and said, life, you know what? Can't do it. Life, too hard, can't take it. Going home. Just went back to his mom's house. He basically looked at life. Like, if you could, you know how you can quit your job? He basically quit life. He quit life, dude. He said, I'm done. I'm out. He said, I quit. I'm done. What is this? I got to go to work every day? I'm out. I'm out of the game. Dude, he got out of the game. And then he went back to his mom's house. And he got really big, you know? And then I remember one time I was just talking to him, and he was telling me about, he sent me some anti-feminist shit. He sent me some red pill, like, feminists are destroying the culture. Some shit like that. Dude. Stay in the game, brother. Stay in the game. Come on, dude. It's tough right now. I'm not saying it's not tough, dude. You got to do the chatty Cathy. That's my method. You got to go out. You got to engage with the community. Be a chatty Cathy. Listen, you're out here. You're being a chatty Cathy. We're talking about 2 out of 10. Okay, let's just say, and you got to talk to everyone. Seniors, I don't care. If they're 20, 25 plus, you gotta say, oh, it's a nice day. Just say it. If they got a dog, oh, so cute. Oh my God, such a beautiful dog. Do that. Do it. Just gotta say hi, man. You gotta be a chatty Cathy. That's all I'm saying. You gotta be a chatty Cathy. And you know what? 2 out of 10 people are like, okay, like, why is someone talking to me? 2 out of 10 people are like, what? Did someone talk to me in public? In a public place? Like someone just talked to me? Like 2 out of 10 people are like that. Honestly, 6 out of 10 people? No, I'd say 3 out of 10 people are like, well, oh, someone's talking to me in public. Oh, okay. Yes, it is nice. Ha 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 ha. It's nice. 3 out of 10 people like that. Honestly, 6 out of 10 people are like, someone's talking to me? Are you talking to me? Like, and I'm not even saying like they, like I'm talking about 6 out of 10 people will just have a little chatty chat with you. Let's do a little chit chat. Let's do a little chitty chat with you. That's all they're doing. You got to have the chit chat. You got to have a real conversation. You got to stop. You got to have a chat. And that's it, guys. And that's it. You got to have a real conversation. You got to be genuine. You got to be real, baby. This is a culture. This is a community. You got to go out and be a real member of the community. And you got to be a chatty Cathy. Say hi to everyone. That's what you got to do. 6 out of 10 people are like, oh my God, someone's talking to me? You're talking to me? Cool. And they get very excited. And then 1 out of 10 people, though, probably less than 1. I shouldn't have made it out of 10. I should have made it out of 100. Damn it. Because it's like 2 out of 100, 4 out of 100. Look, the numbers aren't that good. You really got to go. You can improve your odds with like doing YouTube videos, stuff like that. Doing stand-up comedy shows helps. But you got to go out, baby. You got to go to the dancings. You got to go dance time. You got to do the dance time, too. You got to do the dance time. You got to I was out, so funny. I was out, like a month ago, and this other comic was telling me, this is how he said it, because we've been going out all dancing, and I generally don't like to hate on other comics because we got to work together, and it's rude. I don't do that. It's terrible. But anyway, he was like, hey, Amish, I think you should ask, and I'll just make up a name. I think you should ask Karen if she wants to do a smooch. And I was like, what? And that's his move. He basically not only told me his move, but he also said, like, I think Karen's interested. You should ask her if she wants to go out for a smooch. Just ask her if she wants to go outside for a smooch, Amish. And I was like, look, we're comedians. And that is a silly, kind of cute thing to do. You know what I'm saying? And the Lord did put me here to be a comedian and to do stuff like that, really, quite frankly. I mean, you know, I guess I could. Like, some people are funny for 5 minutes a night when they're on stage. 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes a night. Maybe an hour a night if they're doing a bunch of sets. But with me, my life's a joke from the minute I wake up. You know what I'm saying? I'm shooting these videos. And I go out as a chatty Cathy, and I go talk to the community. I'm going to start doing videos on the street. That's what I really got to do, guys. I got to go out on the street and just talk to people out on the street. I got to do it. That's where it has to go, guys. I got to go and I got to do those streeter interviews. Just ask silly questions on the street and cut it all together. It's going to be beautiful. We'll do it. We'll do it this summer. Make sure you go to laughsarup.com, guys. I feel like it's a good time to do a little plug. Go to laughsarup.com. Make sure you get tickets to a comedy show. Got a lot of great comedy shows coming up. 2 stand-up comedy shows in Brampton, Mississauga. And then we got the Win at Life Mega Expo. Hit Fringe Play. Runaway hit Fringe Play from the Toronto Fringe Festival last year. And now back by popular demand. You know, they really begged us. They said, please, 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 we need you. And now we're doing Montreal and Ottawa. We're doing a Montreal run and an Ottawa run, June 2019. Incredible. But if you go to laughsarup.com, you can join the mailing list. You can become an investor. You'll be notified when the laughs go up. You'll be notified when there's a show coming to your town. And you can be involved in the culture, in the community. Honestly, you guys should start sending me video ideas. It's great. That's a good way to invest too. You don't have to invest with money. Send me some video ideas. Make an investment, guys. Come on. If you ever saw something goofy on the internet, send it over to me. I'll just put up on the screen here. We'll talk about it. Laughs are up. Laughs are up, guys. If you have any kind of a laughs are up situation, send it to me, man. I'll read it. Anyway, I think that's mainly what I wanted to say, though. You know, we got to engage with the community. That's the main thing I wanted to say, right? Because this guy looks so sad. You know, this guy looks so sad. And it's like, you know, I wasn't saying it to him to roast him, but I was saying it to be like, look, we got to go out. We got to go get it. We got to go get it. And maybe there is some, you know what? And I told you this last time, you got to put the joy in the work. Joyful productivity. You got to take whatever the work is, whatever the Lord put you here to do, you got to take that. You got to put it into small chunks, and you got to say, wow, that's fun. Can't wait to do that work. God is great for giving me so much work. Thank you, God. Even if you don't literally believe in God. Listen, I don't believe in God. It's crazy how many atheist people are like, why do you keep mentioning God? It's like, listen, guys, I believe in, it's like a metaphor. God is great. It's like a metaphor for how good this life can be if we go out and engage with the community. But I think that's a big part of what we need. We got to put the joy in the work. We do have to engage with this life, though. We got to go out. We got to go get it a little bit. We got to go holler a little bit. You know, and that's might not be hollering. I mean, if you're not lonely, then maybe you don't need to holler, but maybe you got to holler at this life, and you got to, you know, there's a lot of people who have that mentality that like, this life will pay whatever price you ask of it. The problem is nobody asks. And by ask, they mean like, you got to go hustle. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think they mean. I'm not religious, but I do think that every religion, if you distill it down to the negative side, it becomes terrorism. And if you distill it up to the positive side, it becomes a secret. So I believe in religion. Like I guess I believe in the secret, but I don't believe in the secret literally like you will the universe and the universe gives stuff back to you. I don't think that's literally true, that you will the universe and then a signal goes from your brain into the universe and then the universe gets together and then sends a thing back to you. That's not what I think is happening. But what I think is happening is that it's a good way to operate your brain software. It's just a software that you install in your brain, and it's a software that you install that makes you want to go get it. It makes you want to go get it. It puts the joy in the work, basically. When you have that belief that if you will the universe, good things will come in. It's not that that's literally true, but I think it's just like if you believe it, then you'll go do shit. That I do believe. It's 1:30 in the morning. I can spit though, eh, babies? My darlings, I can spit. I can talk, dude. I can talk forever. What do we talk about today? Religion? No. We talked about loneliness, mental health, dating. Got into God a little bit, didn't we? Little bit. We talked about that hustle. The laughs were up. That's the thing. I mean, the laughs were up, you know? It is weird, though, that this life, it's interesting. This life, it's, like, we're just here, and nobody knows what we're doing here, but you have to keep doing it. That's interesting. Like these Indian parents especially, like, a lot of them are like, look, you got to just keep, and this, they're almost scared to question it. And this happened to me in India, too, where I would be, where I remember when I was in India, where if you talked about philosophy too much, if you talked about existentialism too much, or if you said, what's the meaning of life or something like that, there's a lot of people that were down to talk about that, but then there's a lot of people that were like, no, don't talk about that. You'll get sad. No, if you talk about that, you'll get sad. No, don't talk about that. That'll make you sad if you talk about that too much. Dude, there's people who believe that. There's people who are like, no, you'll get sad. Don't talk about that. Oh, no. You know, because in Gujarat, you know, we do have that mentality where I'm from, that your contribution to God is your work. I think Protestants believe that, and I think Hindus, where I'm from, believe that. So if you're Hindu, I remember I grew up with another guy who was religious, but he was Christian, and I'm Hindu, and his way of expressing his religion was he was going to become a pastor. He almost became a pastor. That was his way of being like, I believe in this book so much that I'm going to go dedicate my life to it. And I'm Hindu, and I was just as religious as him. But I expressed the way that I was going to express my faith was I'm going to become an engineer, and then I'll get married and have kids. And then my mom and dad will be proud. And then by doing the work and making your mom and dad proud, then God is proud. That's the kind of nerd shit that we're taught. Fucking nerds, dude. Gujarati nerds. We're such geeks, right? Unless you're from Surat. There's one part of Gujarat that's where the hard asses are from. That's where the prime minister is from. The current prime minister of India, Modi, he's from Surat. And that's the hardest fuck people, dude. That's the hardest fuck people from Gujarat. Where I'm from, oh my God, no cheating. Nobody cheats even. There's people from other parts of India, they'll fuck around, dude. I couldn't believe it. Dude, when the first time I met people from India that cheated and their parents cheated, I was like, what? What are you talking about? Dude, where I'm from in Gujarat, it would, oh my God, no. Actually, no, when I was in Gujarat though, I remember there was cheating situations, but it was always cheating situations where someone was forced into an arranged marriage that they didn't want to be in, and the guy that they were forced to marry was a loser and a weirdo, and then there was just some other married guy across the street, and then that married guy across the street, he would stay married to his wife, but then he would just have sex with this wife too. And everyone just kind of said, whatever, dude. And once a year, there'd be like a fight. Like once a year, either his wife would go and throw something at the other woman. Oh, it's so sad. Or the girl's husband. Oh my God. I remember one family like this. The girl's husband, he would like kiss the other guy's ass too. So the other guy, this is like poor though. This is pretty ghetto. Not ghetto, sorry, no, it's not poor. It's pretty small town. Small town. Not poor. It was just small village. They weren't poor though. The guy who was cheating on his wife, he was rich. He was pretty rich. So he had his wife at home, and they had a wife and kids. And then the other woman's kids, one of them looked like him too, and everyone just assumed it was his kid. Everyone assumed that her two kids, the other woman, one was her husband's, and then one was the guy from across the street. And everyone just kind of dealt with it. And the only violence was once a year, his wife, the guy who was sleeping with both of them, his wife would twice a year, just kind of like come out and scream at the woman, at the other girl, and like throw something at her or something like that. Every now and then would happen. But here's the crazy thing. Her husband, he was almost like a third wheel. Like I remember one time I was there, and his wife and this guy from across the street, they almost had like a girlfriend-boyfriend relationship. Like they were flirting, and they just had so much fun with each other. And then her husband, the guy who's getting cheated on, he would just stay there and just be like, hey, can I hang out? Okay. And then like he'd try to get a joke in, and they'd be like, whatever. Like they just kind of laugh at him. Oh, how sad, right? Fuck, what a great podcast. That's a great podcast, honestly. I can just talk, right? I mean, is it a product? I don't know. We'll figure it out. Because the shorter bits we're going to cut out, and those will go up as like their own separate little thing. So then that'll bring people back to the podcast. That's a tight little story, right? Off the top of my head. I can just talk, man. And this summer, I already shot one outside in front of graffiti, like Rick Mercer styles. Gorgeous. These new cameras, they're beautiful. Sound equipment. This is TV sound. You're getting TV sound right here. I got a Zoom H1. It's legit. And the videos will just get better because the videos, as they go on, I'm going to be cutting in more like clips from other real shit. So at the end of the day, if you watch a 20-minute video from me or if you watch a 1-hour video from me, down the road what will happen as the investment comes in is you're going to be watching basically like a news show. It's going to be like a daily show. No, not like a daily show. Because, you know, they do have all these effects and stuff. But no, like it'll just have, like, honestly, if I cut in a clip off the internet, I have that production value. So if I go out in the streets of Toronto, yesterday I tried to shoot in front of the CNE, but my God, it was so cold outside I couldn't shoot it. I'm soft, baby. But as we go on, I'll just be shooting outdoors more. Outdoor, oh, gorgeous. And then the nighttime shots, gorgeous. It's going to be a great summer, man. The play was a banger last year. Win at Life Mega Expo. So I'm doing I'm doing Ottawa and Montreal, June 2019. Then I got a show in Brampton, end of May. And then we got Mississauga. And then after that, big plans for the corporation. Big plans as a CEO of the corporation. I'm going to be... I think I got to start with a live weekly show in Toronto. Or maybe like a monthly, some kind of a live show that's going to fuel this corporation initially. Because initially, it's going to be hard to sell you guys on just becoming patrons, right? You got to start getting like hundreds. You got to start getting so many people. But a live show, tickets to a live show, I can sell that. And I can put on a banger weekly show. And I think that's how I'm going to build up the initial bit of audience. You know what I'm saying? Local Toronto audience. And just get them in the door and watching that stuff. And then these shorter clips, I got to do more like reviews of local shit in Toronto. I got to shoot more in Toronto, but then also just have stuff about like I went to a restaurant the other day and it was so good and I can just write a funny little review about it. I have kind of a review about it in my head. But I'll do that down the road. The point that I'm trying to make, guys, is that there's some very exciting things coming down the road here with the Amish Patel Comedy Corporation. No, you guys are really on the ground floor of a very exciting investment opportunity here. You know what I'm saying? You guys are on the ground floor of a very exciting investment opportunity. You guys, and when I say invest, look, you can invest some cash, you can invest your time, you can help out, do whatever you can do, but go to laughsyrup.com, join the mailing list, and then you will be notified when there's new videos going up and when there's a live show coming up and merch, man, maybe some God is Great t-shirts. I think God is Great would make a great t-shirt, or God Make It would be a good t-shirt. But also there was brother, hello my brother. That could be a tight t-shirt. Tight t-shirt. But that's all coming down the road. Very exciting. Guys, thank you so much for watching. My name is Amish Patel. I love you, and God is great. God is great. Okay.
Put your hands up!
My darlings, thank you for consuming this social media content from the Amish Patel Comedy Corporation. My name is Amish Patel, CEO of the Amish Patel Comedy Corporation. And listen, if you're still watching this, you must really be in love with me. Or else, what are you doing here? It's the internet. You could be watching anything. You could be watching anything. But you're here, you love it, so why don't you just go ahead and subscribe. Okay, hit the bell button too, and then they'll let you know when I got more bits coming out. And I'll tell you this, I got bits. I'm sitting on bits, guys. So many bits. I'm overstocked on bits, and I am working hard to bring them to market for your consumption. So subscribe to the channel. Also, if you want to watch a bit right now, you can. There's a bit right. You can click on the box right below me. That's a bit. You can click on me. It'll take you to a secret bit, or you can go to laughsyrup.com. You can listen to the full podcast where these bits are cut out of. You can join the mailing list. You can be notified. You'll be notified of live stand-up comedy shows coming to your area, and you can learn about all of the investment opportunities at the Amish Patel Comedy Corporation. To do that, go to laughsyrup.com, or keep getting the bits, or subscribe to make sure you keep getting future bits. Or, you know what? Share the video then, too. If you're still here, I mean, what are you doing? You should be working for me at this point. I mean, at this point, you're an investor. Time is money. You spent your time. You're an investor. And if you look at our business model over here, you'll see at the top, social media bits. That's what we're watching right now. That's at the top. But if you follow it all the way to the bottom, do you see on that ground floor? It says fans and investors. That's you guys. you are at the ground floor of a very exciting business opportunity here at the Amish Patel Comedy Corporation. So, like I said, go to laughserup.com, join the mailing list, listen to the full podcast. I think I said everything. That's all the stuff I got to say. Okay? Okay? God is great.